Only 1% of people over 50 are doing this. And it's not some weird biohack, magic pill, or fitness trend. It's creatine. But not the way you've heard it before. Forget what you think you know about supplements. Because this is backed by over 500 studies. And yet, almost nobody in their 50s is taking advantage of it. Why? Simple. Myths, misinformation, and fear. Here's the truth most won't tell you. After 50, your body starts losing muscle faster than you realize. Not just the kind that shapes your arms or legs, but the muscle that helps you stand up without wobbling. That lets you carry groceries, walk upstairs, or get out of a chair without groaning. The kind of strength that determines whether you stay independent or slowly start needing help. Now, imagine there was a safe, cheap, and research-backed way to fight all of that. One that not only helps you rebuild muscle but also boosts brain health, strengthens bones, and even sharpens your metabolism. But almost no one talks about it the right way, because it's easier to sell fear than facts. This isn't a sales pitch. There's no brand in your face. Just the straight-up science of what creatine actually does to your body after 50. And the hidden benefits that are changing lives in silence. If this is already hitting close to home, hit that subscribe button. Because what's coming next might just change the way you train forever. 1. Fighting sarcopenia, the silent muscle killer. By the time you hit 50, your body's already started to betray you, and most people don't even notice. It begins subtly. A little more effort to carry things, more soreness after walking upstairs, and a growing sense that your body doesn't bounce back like it used to. That's not just aging. That's sarcopenia, the slow erosion of muscle mass and strength. From your 30s onward, you start losing about 3 to 5% of your muscle mass every decade. But after 50, that number can jump to 1 or even 2% every single year. By 70, you could be walking around with a third less strength than you had at midlife, unless you do something about it. And here's the real danger. This kind of muscle loss doesn't just make you feel weaker, it steals your independence. Carrying groceries, getting off the floor, reaching up to grab something from a shelf. These start turning into challenges that chip away at your confidence. And if you think it won't happen to you, think again. Most people don't notice it until it's already impacting their daily life. But creatine offers a powerful way to fight back. This isn't some theoretical benefit. It's backed by hard numbers. Creatine boosts muscle protein synthesis by around 30%, creating a more anabolic environment inside your body, even if your natural testosterone or growth hormone levels have declined. That means your muscles become more responsive to training, and your gains don't just stop with size. They translate into real-world strength. And when combined with strength training, the results are borderline shocking. In a key study, men aged 55 to 70 who used creatine while training gained more than twice as much lean mass as those who trained without it, in just 12 weeks. That's not just muscle, that's power, stability, and independence. What makes it even better? As you age, your natural creatine levels drop, so your body actually responds better to supplementation than a younger person's would. It's like filling a tank that's been running low for years and finally seeing what your engine can really do. Combine that with better recovery, increased training volume, and enhanced neural connection to the muscles, and you've got a formula that doesn't just slow aging, it reverses its effects. And the best part? The benefits go far beyond the gym. Because the more strength and muscle you regain, the more you take back control of your life. Getting older doesn't mean getting weaker, not if you give your body what it needs to fight back. 2. Brain health and mental energy. Most people think creatine is all about biceps and bench press, But what if the biggest impact wasn't even in your muscles, but in your brain? That's right. The same supplement that helps your body lift heavier may also help your mind stay sharper, longer. Your brain, despite making up only about 2% of your body weight, uses around 20% of all your energy. That energy comes in the form of ATP, and creatine plays a direct role in regenerating it. So when your brain is running low, creatine steps in to recharge the battery. And for people over 50, this becomes a game of mental survival, not just enhancement. Age doesn't just steal strength. It chips away at memory, focus, and processing speed. Tasks that once felt automatic start requiring more thought. You walk into a room and forget why. You search for words mid-conversation. It's not just frustrating, it's unsettling. But that's where creatine steps in, not as a cure, but as a stabilizer. In the same way creatine boosts muscle output, it supports the brain's energy systems. Research shows that supplementation increases phosphocreatine stores in the brain, helping cells regenerate energy faster during cognitively demanding tasks. This translates into better concentration, reduced mental fatigue, and sharper recall, especially during multitasking or under stress. And the results don't take long. A standout study found that older adults experienced significant improvements in working memory and reduced cognitive strain after just 2 weeks of creatine use. That means better clarity for decisions, stronger focus in conversation, and more confidence in high-pressure moments. But here's where things get really interesting. Creatine also appears to help regulate neurotransmitters like serotonin and dopamine, two chemicals closely tied to mood, motivation, and emotional balance. For those navigating the life changes that come after 50, retirement, empty nest, shifting identity, this stability can make a massive difference. And let's not forget resilience. In studies where subjects were sleep-deprived or under extreme mental load, creatine helped maintain cognitive performance. This means not just thinking faster, but thinking clearer, even when life gets chaotic. So while everyone else is focused on physical performance, creatine is quietly helping you stay sharp, steady, and strong where it matters most, in your mind. But that's not the only hidden benefit waiting to be unlocked. 3. Metabolism and weight control. One of the most frustrating parts of aging is realizing that your body doesn't burn fuel like it used to. You eat the same, move the same, maybe even train harder, and still the weight creeps up. That's not laziness, that's biology. After 50, your metabolism slows down dramatically, and the loss of muscle only makes things worse. But creatine can flip the script, not just by helping you build more muscle, but by keeping your metabolism running hotter, longer. Muscle is metabolically active tissue. The more you have, the more calories you burn, even at rest. And that matters, because after 50, most people lose muscle and gain fat. Creatine helps reverse that equation. In studies with adults between 45 and 60, creatine combined with resistance training preserved significantly more lean mass during fat loss phases and kept metabolic rate up by around 7% higher than the control group. That might not sound like much, but over months, it makes a massive difference in energy, fat storage, and body composition. There's also emerging science showing that creatine may stimulate brown fat, a special type of fat that actually burns calories to generate heat. In simple terms, more active brown fat means your body becomes more efficient at using energy. That's not just helpful for weight loss, it's powerful for metabolic health overall. And if you've ever felt like it's harder to manage blood sugar or recover from carb-heavy meals, that's not your imagination either. Creatine has been shown to improve insulin sensitivity, especially in older adults. That means better glycemic control, reduced fat storage, and more stable energy levels throughout the day. This isn't about chasing aesthetics. It's about functionality. It's about making your body more efficient at using what you give it, instead of hoarding it as fat. And when your metabolism works with you, not against you, every part of life gets easier. But there's another layer to this that most people completely overlook. 4. Joint and bone health. By the time most people reach their 50s, joint stiffness, aches, and concerns about bone density become daily conversations, and for good reason. As bone mineral density declines and joints become more vulnerable to wear and tear, basic movements can turn into painful chores. But creatine has a lesser-known, yet powerful impact in this department. Let's start with the bones. While most associate creatine with muscle, recent research shows that it actually stimulates osteoblasts, the cells responsible for forming new bone tissue. That's huge! Because after 50, bone loss accelerates rapidly, especially in women post-menopause. In fact, up to 20% of bone density can disappear within 5 years after menopause. In a year-long study, adults over 50 who combined creatine with resistance training showed measurable increases in lumbar spine bone density, up to 2% gains, while those without creatine saw no significant change. That might sound like a small number, but it's the difference between stability and frailty as the years go by. And then there are the joints. Weak surrounding muscles put more strain on joint structures, speeding up issues like osteoarthritis. Creatine helps by increasing both muscle size and muscle quality, meaning better support, more stability, and less pressure on the joints. The stronger the frame, the less grinding and friction every movement causes. A study with middle-aged adults who had mild osteoarthritis showed that creatine, paired with strengthening exercises, led to a 33% reduction in joint pain during daily tasks. Not because creatine is a painkiller, but because it strengthens the system that protects your joints from needing one. And there may be even more to the story. Early research suggests creatine might have anti-inflammatory effects that reduce systemic inflammation, a key factor in both joint pain and bone degradation. If true, this adds yet another layer of protection, helping your body stay more mobile, agile, and pain-free as the years add up. But we're still not done. Because feeling strong in body is one thing. Feeling energized in life? That's another level entirely. 5. Fatigue and mood. Getting older isn't just about physical decline, it's about energy. Or more specifically, the lack of it. That constant drag. The feeling that no matter how much you sleep or rest, you never really recharge. And for many over 50, that low-grade fatigue becomes the new normal. But it doesn't have to be. Creatine isn't just working at the muscular level, it's fueling your cells with energy. And not in a hyped-up, jittery way like caffeine. This is deeper. It enhances your body's ability to regenerate ATP, the actual fuel every cell runs on. When your cells run better, you run better. Period. In a clinical trial with adults aged 45 to 65, just 8 weeks of creatine use led to a 50% reduction in reported fatigue symptoms. That's not just feeling a bit better. Oh, that's the difference between dragging through your day and powering through it with purpose. And the impact goes beyond energy. Fatigue and mood are tightly linked. When your energy is low, your outlook tends to follow. That's why so many people over 50 describe feeling off, down, or unmotivated, even when nothing's technically wrong. But here's where creatine adds another surprising benefit. It supports the regulation of mood-related neurotransmitters like dopamine and serotonin, the chemicals that govern motivation, pleasure, and emotional balance. Early research suggests creatine may help stabilize these pathways, especially in aging adults navigating life transitions like retirement, empty nests, or health concerns. Participants in fatigue studies didn't just report more energy. They described feeling more alive, more curious, more engaged. They reconnected with hobbies, spent more time outside, said yes to plans they used to cancel. That's not just a supplement working, that's quality of life coming back online. So if you've felt like you're running on empty, physically and emotionally, maybe the problem isn't age. Maybe your body just needs the fuel it's been missing. But before you dive in, there are a few things you absolutely need to know. 6. The myths that keep people stuck. For all its proven benefits, creatine is still misunderstood, especially by people over 50. And unfortunately, 2 myths have kept millions from experiencing everything it has to offer. Let's set the record straight. The first, creatine causes hair loss. You've probably heard this one repeated like gospel, especially among men already worried about thinning hair. But here's the truth. This myth is based on a single, small study done on a group of rugby players. That's it. The study found a slight rise in a hormone linked to hair loss, not actual hair loss. No follow-up, no confirmed hair loss, just speculation. And more importantly, a massive body of evidence, including over 500 studies, has found zero consistent link between creatine and hair loss. None. Not in young men, not in older adults, not in anyone. Experts now agree. This fear is unfounded. The second myth? Creatine damages your kidneys. This one stems from confusion between creatine and creatinine, a breakdown product your body naturally produces. When you supplement, your creatinine levels can rise slightly in blood tests. But that doesn't mean your kidneys are failing. It means your body is processing more creatine, as expected. Dozens of clinical trials, including ones focused on older adults and even people with conditions like type 2 diabetes, have shown no harmful effects on kidney function when creatine is used properly. In fact, some researchers believe it may even offer protective benefits under certain conditions. The bottom line? These myths have stopped good people from using one of the safest and most effective supplements available today. And while caution is always smart, fear based on misinformation is what really puts your health at risk. Now that we've cleared the air, let's talk about the real precautions, the ones that actually matter before you start using creatine. 7. Precautions before starting creatine. Even though creatine is one of the safest and most researched supplements out there, starting it after 50 deserves a smarter, more personalized approach. This isn't about fear, it's about maximizing results and minimizing risks. And it starts with 3 key precautions. First, purity matters. Not all creatine is created equal. In fact, studies show that a shocking number of cheap products contain far less active ingredient than the label claims. Some even test positive for heavy metals like lead or mercury. For younger people, that's bad. For older adults, it's dangerous. Your best bet is to choose brands that offer transparency, ones that publish third-party lab results and openly share where their creatine is manufactured. And despite what flashy marketing says, the most studied and reliable form is still creatine monohydrate. It works, it's affordable, and it's what science backs. Second, hydration is non-negotiable. One of creatine's benefits is how it draws water into your muscle cells, something that helps growth, recovery, and function. But that also means your body needs more water to keep everything balanced. Dehydration not only blunts creatine's benefits, it can actually cause issues. For people over 50, this is even more critical. The natural decline in thirst sensation makes it easy to underhydrate without noticing. That's why experts recommend increasing your daily water intake by at least half a liter when starting creatine. A simple way to track it: pay attention to your urine color. It should stay light yellow to clear. Anything darker is a red flag. Third, talk to your doctor, especially if you have pre-existing conditions or take medications like NSAIDs, blood pressure meds, or diuretics. These can interact with how your body handles water, filtration, or electrolytes. A quick conversation and a few basic blood tests can give you peace of mind and the green light to proceed smartly. And remember, more isn't better. Once your muscles are saturated, extra creatine just gets filtered out, putting unnecessary strain on your kidneys without added benefit. Stick to the science-backed range of 3 to 5 grams daily, or follow your doctor's recommendation if adjustments are needed. When done right, creatine isn't just safe, it's transformational. But like any tool, it works best in the hands of someone who knows how to use it. And now that you've got the full picture, there's one more thing you need to see. By now, you've seen what creatine can really do. Not just for your muscles, but for your energy, your focus, your bones, your metabolism, and your daily life. It's not hype. It's not a shortcut. It's a well-studied tool that's been hiding in plain sight. And for those over 50, it's a quiet revolution. The truth is, most people never hear this. They get stuck in fear, confusion, or the belief that slowing down is inevitable. But it's not. You don't have to accept decline as your destiny. Not when there are simple, proven steps you can take to push back. Creatine isn't a magic pill. But when combined with smart training, better habits, and the right mindset, it can be the fuel that reignites your potential, physically, mentally, and emotionally. Because getting older doesn't mean getting weaker. It means getting wiser and using what works. So if you're ready to stop surviving and start thriving, you now have one of the most powerful tools in your hands. What's the one thing you're changing in your training after this? If this video gave you at least one aha moment, drop a like, hit subscribe, and let's keep building this together. And if you're serious about using creatine the right way, without wasting its benefits, check out the video now appearing on your screen. It breaks down the biggest mistakes people make when taking creatine and how to avoid each one. See you there.